Hey, it's Nathan with OptionsForAll.com. In this video, I'm going over a backtest case study where I'm doing iron condors against the SPY ticker symbol. And basically, if you've watched any of my previous videos where I share my weekly results, I've been opening up SPY iron condors every week, and I'm now trying to figure out if that's like a smart idea. So far, I've been pretty successful with it, but it might also just be timing or luck or anything like that, because I'm not doing anything smart with it. Like, I'm not looking at any indicators. I'm just arbitrarily opening another SPY iron condor at the start of every week. And so I want to see, but the history shows if I would have done this trade, over a long time period. So I'm basically going to break this case study into a couple different parts. This first part here, I'm going to be trying to figure out which deltas and which spreads between my strike prices gives me the best results, and then we'll try and optimize it to get even better results. So that's what we're doing in this video. Alrighty, so first things first, I'm going to go over the strategy configuration real quick. So like I said, the SPY ticker symbol date, I'm doing it for a 10-year period starting January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2025. Starting capital is $250,000. No commissions, fill price midpoint. Like I said, we're doing the iron condor or the short iron condor. The strategy leg, so this is the variable that I'm changing in this part of the video. So I've done different deltas from 20, 25, and 30, all with the same DTE of 40 days. And then my spread, my offset, ranges anywhere between $5 to $25. And so those are the variables that I'm changing in this particular video. Now, also my trading frequency, I'm doing it on specific days and Monday because that's what I'm doing right now. And if the market is closed that Monday because it's a holiday or something like that, well, then I'll open the trade on the next day when the market is open. And I'm not filtering on the VIX or the simple moving average, and no exit conditions, no roll management or anything like that. So those are my settings. Now let's go to my results real quick. So I'm over here in my history, and I'm currently on the graph right here because I think it gives us a nice visual display of everything that's going on. And what we can see, right away is that the majority of these strategies lost money. So what we're looking at right here is the CAGR compared to the max drawdown. And what we're looking for is the lower right quadrant. So we want a high CAGR with a low drawdown. And you can see that there's only really 4 positions or 4 strategies that wound up with a positive P&L. So that was kind of interesting to me. I thought that, the iron condor was a pretty safe trade. Now, based on these results, it doesn't really look like it. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight the ones that are profitable. I'm not going to worry about the ones that aren't profitable. Now, yeah, it might be interesting to see if we can optimize some of these other strategies and get them profitable, and maybe they would be more profitable depending on different filters and timing and things like that. But we'll just keep it simple and we'll focus on the ones that were profitable with the variables that I was testing at this point in time, which was the delta and the spread between the strikes. And so we can see our results graph right here with a P&L comparison where we normalize it based off of the dates. And we can see, they basically track like the same pattern. It's just this yellow one seemed to outperform the other ones. Like, even in the dip, like, it didn't dip lower or anything like that. And now towards the end, it's definitely outperforming the other iron condor strategies. So let's go ahead and look at it in more detail. So this is the one that generated the highest P&L of $15,900. And what we had for the settings were deltas of 20, so our 20 delta, and our spread of $25. So that's kind of interesting to me. As my personal trades, I've been doing the 20 deltas, but I've been doing a $5 spread between the strike prices because I thought that was like less risk. But what the backtesting results are showing me is that this performs the best. And its max drawdown was 16,700. And you can see the other metrics right here, like return on margin was 143%. Our CAGR was 0.6%. CAGR ratio was 0.09, so very, very low. But at least the P&L was positive, but also it's been 10 years. So those are very small returns after a 10-year period. The next one we have is the 20 deltas again, and then $20 spread between the strike prices. And then we have the 25 delta with the $25 spread. And then we have the 20 delta with the $15 spread. And let me go ahead and load in the trade that I've been doing regularly and see where that winds up. And so here it is. It's this red dot way over here. So that doesn't look very promising. We can see in the chart that it's this line way down here at the bottom. So you can see that it's way under the other iron condor strategies that we tested. So that doesn't look very promising. Seems like I might have just been getting lucky. I might be timing it just simply by happenstance. Maybe I'm just in moment in time in the market and I'm just getting lucky. But we can see right here that the P&L was nearly negative $10,000 over that 10-year period. the max drawdown was 21,259. So even though my spread between my strike prices is $5, my max drawdown is actually more than the max drawdown when the spread was $25. So that's kind of interesting to me. I actually thought I was being less risky by doing a $5 spread versus a larger spread like $25. That seems pretty wide, but over the last 10 years and 446 trades, like this has outperformed what I'm currently doing. So maybe I need to adjust what I'm doing. Anyway, in the next phase of this video, we're going to try and optimize this particular setup with these deltas and these strike spreads and see if we can't boost our results by adding in exit conditions or rolling and things like that. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so I ran like 38 more back tests. We have the same basic settings and we were optimizing our best strategy or our most profitable strategy, which was the 20 deltas with the offset of $25 between our strike prices. And in this segment of the case study, we were messing with our exit conditions. So we did different take profits of 25, 50, 75, and 90%. And different stop losses, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125%, and then every combination of those different numbers to generate different results. We also tested the exit at DTE doing 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. And so we're going to go over those results right now. So let me switch over to our history, and I'm under our graph right here. And so here is the current scatter plot. Now we are comparing CAGR to max drawdown, so those are our metrics. We might look at some other ones later on, but these are kind of like the primary ones we're focused on right now. And the two dots that I currently have highlighted are the best performing one, which is what we discovered in the first section of this case study. And then I also highlighted what I'm currently actively in real life doing, just to put it as a benchmark on how dumb my strategy might be and how I might just be getting lucky at this moment in time. And so I'm leaving that in there as a comparison, and you can see that it is definitely performing the worst. Now, what's also interesting is that there's only two dots out here that have performed better than the one we found initially. So that's kind of interesting. I would have thought like having stop loss and take profit would have lowered our max drawdown and therefore increased, our overall profit and loss. However, that does not seem to be the case, as you can see based off of the scatter plot right here. So what are these dots that outperformed our current, setup? So this one right here, the exit condition was take profit at 50%. This one is performing the best. It's kind of out there by a mile. It's an outlier. It's standing on its own by itself. So this seems to be a pretty good point to optimize from. And then the next one was take profit at 90%. So that one did pretty well as well. There's our initial best one. And then we have a take profit at 75%. We've got a take profit at 25%. So you can see the take profit ones seem to be doing the best. We haven't even seen a stop loss one yet. This one is exit at DTE 10 days till expiration, so just arbitrarily close the trade when you're 10 days out. We got this one right here, which is 5 days till expiration, so still haven't triggered a stop loss yet. And here we go. Here's our first stop loss one, where we had a take profit at 50% and stop loss at 100%. And what I want to do in this next segment is try and optimize this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and select it real quick so I remember which one it was. And instead of doing a stop loss, I'm going to go ahead and roll out to see if rolling gives us better results. But let's go ahead and select this one as well. This one is definitely performing the best, and we'll probably try and optimize this one by adjusting the simple moving average or the VIX and see if we can figure out some better entry conditions for putting this trade on. So let me scroll down just a little bit. We'll take a look at our P&L comparison. We can see the blue one, which is our take profit of 50% one, outperforms all the other ones. You can see my pink one down here, which is what I'm actively doing, is way down here. So might need to change up my strategy. We have our more detailed cards right here. So this one generated a P&L of $27,432.21. Our return on margin was 367.4%, CAGR 1%, Calamar ratio of 0.22, and a max drawdown of 4.7%. So this one is definitely performing the best. This was our kind of baseline one after we did some initial optimization, and you can see that it's like half as good as what we found out when we were taking profit at 50%. So we're going to, again, try and optimize this position by modifying our entry conditions and see if we can't improve our results. And as we move on down, we can see the one with our stop loss at 100%. So this was the best performing one with the stop loss. And we're going to do some studies on rolling instead of doing a stop loss, see if that improves our results. But at least it did generate a positive P&L. Now, of course, this was over a 10-year period, so to generate only $6,528 in 10 years is pretty low, but maybe we can improve that. We can see our return on margin is 107.4%. Our max drawdown was $13,500, CAGR 0.3%, CALMAR 0.05, so very, very low. And then this is what I'm currently doing. Again, definitely need to reevaluate my strategies. But let me go ahead and run some more back tests, and I'll be right back to report what I find. Alright, so I ran like 18 more back tests. Still the same symbol, SPY, start and end dates, all this stuff is the same. And we were trying to optimize this particular setup with the 20 deltas and the offset of $25. So that's the width in our strike prices. And Monday, if Monday was a holiday, we'd move on to the next day. And in this particular portion of the video, we were testing different VIXs. So we tested lower VIXs and we also tested higher VIXs to see if entering a trade when the VIX was low or high gave us better results. And we also did some trades with the SMA, whether the price was above the SMA, the simple moving average, or below the simple moving average. And we used different time periods between 50, 100, and 200 to see if any of those conditions gave us better results. And we had the same exit condition. We were optimizing on our 50% take profit because that gave us its best results. And we also did a few back tests where we were rolling. So instead of doing a stop loss trigger, we did a roll loss trigger. So when we hit, a 75% loss or 25, 50, 100% loss, then we would look for a chance to roll. And these were the settings that I had for rolling. So the max I was willing to extend was 45 days. I was willing to increase or decrease my delta by 0.1, so we had it on 20 or 0.2. So basically I'm saying I'm willing to go to 30 or 0.3. And I was not willing to roll for a debit. We were only looking for credit rolls. I would roll in a limited number of times if that was available. And we were preserving the spread width. So basically we're trying to maintain the same width between our different strike prices, so the $25. Now I did say that I was willing to go up $5, so to a $30 width if I needed to increase the width in order to get a higher credit. And I was only rolling the tested side. So if we were pushing up against the call side, we might roll out and up. Or if we were pushing up against the put side, we might roll down and out. So we're only rolling the tested side, not the whole iron condor. And also we were keeping the legs expiration in sync, so we weren't doing any sort of diagonal spreads or anything like that. And so let's go over to the results real quick and see what happened. And let me go ahead and switch to the chart. And the dots I have selected are the ones that we were trying to optimize for. So the take profit of 50%, and also the one that I've been doing actively live in my trading account and getting lucky on. As you can see, the one that we just tried to optimize by changing the VIX and the SMA and rolling, like, we can't beat it. But let's still take a look at our results. So let me select one, here we go, where we rolled at the 75%. And you can see rolling at the 75% mark got us pretty close as well. Like, we were like right in alignment with each other. And we'll just scroll down to these results because it's kind of easier to see. So we can see our total profit and loss, and this was, again, was the setting that we were trying to optimize. Now it is showing roll on loss 100% right here, but we didn't roll any because there was no opportunity to roll at 100% loss and still roll for a credit. So these results are exactly matching the take profit conditions at 50%. As we were unable to roll, and here we can see roll on 75% loss. We did roll on 2 trades right here. Let me view the results real quick. And let's take a look at our rolls. So we rolled twice. We had 0 successful rolls, as in we didn't get to keep this $10 credit that we achieved with those 2 rolls. So rolling these iron condors did not seem to, improve our results at all. And let me find one where we had the SMA or the VIX. That didn't have it. This one did right here. So the VIX, lower VIX, it looks like worked okay. This one has an SMA, simple moving average, 50-day, simple moving average above. So those did okay as well. Again, did not outperform simply taking profit at 50%. So that's the best results that we have. Here's our VIX, less than 30 right here. You can see 24,990 profit. Return on margin, 357.8%. Let me come back up here. Yeah, it didn't beat our return on margin of 367.6%. Our CAGR of 1, CALMAR ratio at 0.22. Same CAGR and CALMAR ratio, but our return on margin is a little less, but over a 10-year period, like, it's quite close. Let me go ahead and change through some of these different views. So we have our risk adjusted returns. And let me unselect these options real quick, and we'll just leave the main winning one and my one that I'm actively doing. So let's go with capital efficiency, and right now we're looking at lower right quadrant, high returns, low drawdown. So here we can see that we do have some different results. Let's go ahead and add those to the chart real quick. Just keep going down. All right, so right here, this one gave us a profit and loss of 10,604. Our return on margin is significantly greater though. It's like double the return on margin. So here, my average margin was nearly 7,500 bucks. Here it's only $1,500. And also my max drawdown was about half of that. So in this instance, if I bought and sold, multiple options at the same time, this may have the potential to perform better, but also I do want to point out that we only did 84 trades versus 446 trades, and that's because the conditions just weren't met. And those conditions were the SMA was below the 200-day simple moving average. And you can also see that our VIX is a bit higher as well in this instance. So these chances don't come around as frequently as, just doing it every week. But maybe some of these conditions are worth paying attention to. Like if we fall under the 200-day simple moving average, maybe I should start loading up on these Iron Condor settings because they seem to produce, a great return on margin. We'll scroll on down. Here is a higher VIX between 40 to 100, so basically above 40. You can see that our VIX was 54.1 on average. We only did 8 trades, so this is a very rare opportunity. But you can see also the return on margin is quite significant. But these trades happen so few and far between. Like our total P&L was like 700 bucks. So let's look at these results real quick and just see what the heck happened. So basically we had a win rate of 87.5%. We had 7 wins, 1 loss, so significant. And let's look at when we put on these trades. So we can see we put them on during like the COVID crash. That's when VIX and volatility spiked really high. And you can see that we won 7 out of 8 of the trades right here. But that one that we lost, took us down quite a bit. So let me go back to the scatter plot real quick and we'll look at a few more views just to wrap this video up. So that's capital efficiency. So we might have some more options if you're trying to be as capital efficient as possible. And that's basically return on margin versus max drawdown. Let's go to the next one, consistency and profitability. We're looking at the upper right quadrant. And so our particular option or backtesting strategy is, in the upper right quadrant, so that makes sense. Quality versus quantity, and here we're looking for the lower right quadrant where we're comparing the Sharpe ratio to total trades. And basically we had that same one where we're below the 200-day simple moving average, below the 100-day simple moving average, and below the 50-day simple moving average. So those are kind of the best ones here, but you can also see ours, that little purple thing back there, that's our current position. We'll do CAGR versus trades, and so we're looking at lower right quadrant, so maybe this position right here. And that one hits with being above the 50-day simple moving average. So CAGR versus win rate then, and we're looking at the upper right quadrant, so there's ours again, winning as well. Dual efficiency, so this is CAGR ratio versus return on margin. And we're looking at the upper right quadrant, so there's ours again. And this is one of the metrics that I tend to look at as the dual efficiency. We got pure performance. We are winning here, upper right quadrant, and custom. And I could go ahead and change the different metrics that I want to compare to each other. But all in all, the best SPY short iron condor settings are the 20 deltas with an offset of $25, days till expiration being 40 days, and take profit at 50%. And that has generated the best results over the last 10 years. When you're opening the trades every Monday, unless it's a holiday and you open it the next day that the market is open. And with that, I'm going to be reevaluating the current strategy that I am following because it definitely has not performed well over the last 10 years. And I've probably just been getting lucky, so I would go back to the drawing board and think through some of my strategies. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you found it interesting. If you have any ideas on backtests to perform, please leave comments down below. I'll check them out. And also, if you're interested in checking out this tool, link in the description down below. But you can go to tool.optionsforl.com to learn more. It is a paid tool, so warning on that. But I also think it's quite affordably priced. But anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you have a great rest of the day.